Big shout out to Nerve Clinic and Mission Creep. You just saw that. Speaking of which, welcome to Industrial Strength. I'm your host and founder, Steve Houston. This segment of Joker Joker TV will showcase videos from experimental, industrial, and electronic artists, not only from Athens and Atlanta, but the entire state of Georgia, even to some extent, the southeastern United States, and dare I say it, the rest of the world. Now, let me tell you something right now. This is the most talking I'm going to do on this show ever. We need to fill you in. We're going to give you a little bit of preamble. It's going to be long-winded. Please, just bear with me for about 2 or 3 minutes. While Georgia is well known for popular music, with artists and songwriters from Johnny Mercer to Gladys Knight to R.E.M. to Outkast and to Mastodon, a vital, if not somewhat arcane, number of artists in the state have chosen to direct their creativity and skills into pure sonic exploration beyond the need, or should I say want, for money and recognition, or some other supposed tangible. You know, it gets blurry. Okay, this is a show that will bring some of these artists to light, mainly in the form of videos. With that, please let me take a moment to just ask something of you. If you know someone that has a video featuring experimental, industrial, electronic, more avant-garde leaning videos, or even music, or even tales, please reach out to Joker Joker. We would love to hear from you. This is definitely an exploration. This is definitely a lot of history here, and we are going to present history, okay? Whether it's from a current artist or a band or one that operated in the past, we would love to feature their video, your video, on the show. We want your permission. None of these videos that you see will be shown to you without permission. Okay, that's a credo right there. Anyway, it's hard to say when truly underground music began to be performed in Georgia. In a way, folk music in this part of the world centuries ago, sung and performed within the scenario of the pre-Civil War South, was a type of underground music, if you think about it. Certainly wasn't approved by the powers that be. As such, the roots of underground music, in fact, most forms of innovative music in the United States, and especially the South, is black music. Those original field hollers were defiant hymns against the oppression of human beings being treated as inhumanely as possible. Music that delineated the human condition. Past the Civil War and into the 20th century, jazz, the advent of jazz came about. It's a form of music that inherently has experimentation built into its framework. Okay, so it'd be lovely to hear from some artists, who do jazz, especially more experimental jazz. Let me give you some examples. Ornette Coleman and Sun Ra. Basically, they predicated their entire careers on experimentation. After the advent of rock and roll and the counterculture of the 1960s, the earliest example of truly experimental, adventurous music in Georgia that I can think of is the Hampton Grease Band. The Hampton Grease Band only existed for a few short years, producing the album Music to Eat in 1971, but their music is now legendary for its off-kilter uniqueness and scope. I did a night when I listened to the entire album. I wasn't too off my rocker when I did it, and it's worth it. You need to listen to this. Fun fact, Music to Eat was the second lowest selling album in Columbia Music's catalog after a yoga record. Although groundbreaking and having actually worked with Frank Zappa to a certain extent, the Hampton Grease Band broke up in 1973. They had internal squabbles. But two of its members, Colonel Bruce Hampton and Glenn Phillips, went on to more successful careers in music, relatively so. I do not have a video of the Hampton Grease Band that I'm cleared to show. I did see Glenn Phillips quite a bit in the, way back in the 80s, and incredible guitarist. So after that, there was the record Artificial Horizons by Tom Behrens in 1974. Now, Artificial Horizons is Tom's only recording of avant-garde electronic music under his Horizons label out of Sandy Springs, Georgia, in 1974. Again, the record is truly amazing in some spots, featuring massive open-ended pieces of psychedelia, even industrial-sounding electronics. Quiet moments abound amidst the thunder. There's even a song that sounds like doom metal, sort of. I actually contacted Tom a few years ago. I got on the phone with him, talked to him about 15 years ago, and it was a nice conversation. I told him that I bought Artificial Horizons from a record collector in Athens. I love the record, and I got the impression that Tom didn't really care for Artificial Horizons. I don't know why. I don't know why he didn't like it, or he didn't seem to like it. I don't get it. It's incredible. But he moved on. He went into marketing, doing Scottish Highland music, which is great. But Artificial Horizons is amazing. I didn't get it. But he sent me a few copies in the mail. That was wonderful. He was a really nice guy to talk to. He's wonderful. So that's amazing. From what I understand, there was only one public performance of his music, and it might not have even been in Sandy Springs. He mentioned something about doing college in Ohio. So anyway, you find that a lot. A lot of artists move back and forth into other geographies. In Athens, they gestate in Athens and they move onward. So anyway, Tom, we'd love to hear from you. I hope this is nothing but a loving tribute to you and this wonderful album. Okay. Then there was Limbo District. I never got a chance to see Limbo District perform, although one day I walked into Kinko's in downtown Athens to print something for school, and I saw these crazed-looking gentlemen working on a band flyer. It was a Limbo District flyer. I was intrigued, yet apprehensive. I should have went to that show. I didn't, for probably some very lame reason. They were an incredible band. Years later, I met Jeremy Ayers, and he was just a lovely and wonderful man. Okay, so now we're gonna get into what this show is about. Listen, I told you that most of these shows I'm not going to be talking a lot. I want to preamble this stuff, but it's going to be based on the music and the videos. And the video for this particular show is a unique and new Limbo District video. Okay, so the person that's behind the production of Limbo District right now is Henry Owens. So currently, Henry Owens of Chunklet and Jason Nesmith of Chase Park Transduction are working on a Limbo District magnum opus from original material that they got a hold of. I cannot wait. Just bear with me, okay? We're going to get to the video in a minute, okay? Just please bear with me. Again, we're going to make this content heavy. Please reach out, okay? So, let me quote Henry. I'm going to quote. Quote, "One thing's for certain about the few who actually saw Limbo District perform, they never walked away without an opinion of the band. Mark Klein from Love Tractor called them a band's band. Others described performances that cleared venues within a song from the beginning of their undulating set. Regardless of differing opinions about them, Limbo District thrived on irritating through chaotic provocation. 25 months. That's how long Limbo District were an active band. That's it. 3 distinct lineups performed from April 1981 until the band disassembled in May of 1983. The band did several tours up and down the East Coast, performing at legendary clubs like the Mud Club, CBGBs, and the Pyramid Club in New York, 930 Club in D.C., Benny's in Philadelphia, the Antenna in Memphis, Cat's Cradle in Chapel Hill. All this activity was done in tandem with their Athens peers and Pylon REM, Side Effects, OOK, Izot Gap, and the Method Actors. So it was really a tight-knit group of artists, okay, which happened a few times, within Athens music history. I mean, this is me talking, by the way. In the mid-'80s to early '90s, spearheaded kind of by the Barbecue Killers, there was a group of, dissenting musicians who created things much like, Damage Report, which turned into Nerve Clinic. There was Eat America, Sky City, which turned into Skylab. Anyway, so there were these moments of true artistry in Athens, and this was like one of the first that we can actually put our finger on. It included Boat Of, which I would love to get in touch with who was responsible for Boat Of, because Boat Of was completely experimental, and it led to Peach of Immortality. Tom Smith, who I met, and rest in peace, he's no longer with us. Absolute chaotic noise. They were beautiful. So let me move on. So Limbo District never had a record. They had a video. Jim Herbert, a art professor, did a video of them. They didn't have stickers, cassettes, T-shirts. They didn't have any of that stuff. Limbo District retreated deep into Eastern and African polyrhythms, imbued with a nuanced understanding of the exploding New York no-wave scene. I'm quoting Henry Owings right now, by the way. All new Limbo District wanted to find was a label so that, like their Athens contemporaries, they could be loved and hated, ignored, dismissed, respected, all outside of the classic city. History can be a fickle bitch, especially for a band predicated on adventurous ideas and avoiding Western convention. Limbo District disbanded in May of 1983 in a cacophonous haze of heroin, schizophrenia, love triangles, oh, that looks great, shoplifting, and deportation. So, I mean, there's a lot going on there. So what's happening now, what you're about to see, is a thing called Live Limbo, which is an album that Henry Owings and Jason Nesmith have come up with. And it's going to come up on the scene very soon. Live Limbo shows a band in a persistent creative state, while the core of the band remained constant. Three of the lineups of the band emerged, showcasing the oblique guitar musings of Spaniard Margarita Bilboa, or the sharp and jagged post-punk shards of Tim Lacey and Kelly Crow, with Davey Stevenson on bass, Jerry Ayers on rototoms, also Jeremy Ayers. Vocals and Farfisa were alternating to and fro between French exchange student Dominique Amet and lyricist Craig Woodall. While Dominique's vocals had more in common with a smoky French chanteuse a la Edith Piaf rather than anything in the punk rock milieu, Craig's lyrics were more angular, like Vanessa Briscoe. From Pylon. No. She's an amazing person. Limbo District performed at any Athens venue. Are we okay up there? Okay. So, let's see what's going on here. Anyway, Vanessa Briscoe from Pylon. Angular vocals. And I dare say that the origin of those angular vocals are Ian Curtis from Joy Division. Are we good?
Yeah.
We're good now. Okay.
I don't know where we are in the script.
Well, I'm still talking. Can we have image 5 up there? Thank you. So this is their performance, and it probably looked like this to a lot of people there. Limbo District performed at any Athens venue that would host them. The 40-watt, Tyrone's OC, the I&I, The Last Resort. I used to have a practice space at the I&I. There was some energy there. Anyway, if you believe in that sort of stuff. In Atlanta, there were fixtures at the usual haunts, the 688, TV Diner, or TV Dinner. Wow. The Nightery, heck, even they played at the Strand in Marietta. I suppose the Strand was fancy. I never went there. Fortunately, people were lugging their tape recorders and boom boxes to their performances, and so there is documentation of Limbo District. Live recordings of Limbo District have a distinct Velvet Underground bootleg aesthetic to them. Even when the fidelity is non-existent, the band's performance radiates through the lo-fi clutter. Live Limbo serves as a snapshot of one of the most revered, yet maddening, oblique, and utterly, deliberately obtuse bands of the early Athens scene. Limbo District is basically groundbreaking, but no one ever heard of them because they kind of happened, they imploded. So you're in for a treat, and you're in for multiple treats. Edited and sequenced by Henry Owens and Jason Nesmith, who are the two producers of the famed Pylon Box. Over a dozen live recordings were utilized as source material for Live Limbo. While certain recordings were known from specific dates and venues, many were largely unspecified. It was a tumultuous time, apparently. And I know a lot about tumultuous times with music. Before Owings and Nesmith came across them, dusted them off, and basically, mastered them to something that's worth listening. It's all worth listening, but the recording process can always have dropout. Showing a band that was continuously skidding towards a creative implosion. In the Lathe Cut edition of 100, is it 100 albums? Live Limbo is meant to be as deranged, depraved, and savage as the band's caustic live performance, with album art based on the original designs of Bill Georgia, Chunklet's in-house design monkey, who's, Henry Owings, for those taking notes, went on a day-long bender with laser prints of Bill's iconic designs. Okay, listen to this. He destroyed them using coffee, peach brandy, and beer, along with the help of several kitchen appliances, reassembled them with cellophane tape and staples, and then personally screen printed the results on individually spray-painted album jackets. It's hard to even follow that. Each copy is a unique piece of art, including a Dayglow orange Limbo District sticker, a 2-page of press clippings, and reproductions of flyers from some of the exact shows that Live Limbo were taken from. Okay, you got live photos from Terry Bowling, shot mere months before they broke up, which is when I had the chance to see them and I didn't, are shown on the labels and Bristol board inserts. An additional insert features guitarist Kelly Crow's tour Polaroids, which that's very intriguing right there, from various shows along the East Coast. Again, very intriguing. Each record comes with a postcard featuring one of 13 never-before seen Limbo District flyers. In other words, I'm not sure if that's what you're seeing here. You're going to see a lot more than just what you're seeing here. Finally, an individually burned parchment of handwritten Craig Woodall lyrics is included. So Craig Woodall and Dominique Amet were the main lyricists and vocalists for this band. After all the decades, Limbo District is ready to be celebrated with the world. Brace yourself. Things might get insane. There will be a total of 2 listening parties scheduled in the near future at Ella Guru in Atlanta. I've never been there. I've heard about it. Sounds good. And at Low Yo-Yo Stuff in Athens. And we here at Joker Joker will keep you abreast of that. Anybody who knows anything about Athens and Low Yo-Yo, you should go there. So we'll keep you we'll keep you informed of that. I was given the honor of creating a video for 2 previously unreleased Limbo District songs. Here's the first one. Ladies and gentlemen, Limbo District. Hello. Well, thank you for watching the first episode of Industrial Strength. I'm your host, Steve Houston. If you have videos, music, or even tales of artists and bands that walk the path less trod, creating industrial, experimental, or electronic music, please feel free to reach out to us. We are here at Joker Joker for you, and we'd like to hear from you. We'd love to bring the endeavors of these artists to light. Good night, and continue to watch. We'll be back in a month. Bye. Yeah, just I didn't have a chance to.
There was a video, but he used all his time to make this book report. Make sure you're talking to Mike there too.